gentlemen, welcome everyone to what is now our 20th episode of Beyond the Badge. It's great to have you back. I know our audience is filling in right now, coming to join us. I was sharing backstage with all of our honorees who are excited to come up and have their moment on screen, that a lot of you might be here to see them, and this is your first time joining a Beyond the Badge. I'm going to give you a little background. But many of our regulars who come month after month to watch these episodes are our leadership. They love to come here and be re-inspired about what makes Mount Sinai a special place. Who are the people who really go beyond in celebrating and recognizing our values and our mission and who we all strive to be. So I know our leaders are out there just eager to hear another collection of stories. We have 22 of them to share with you. Now, not everyone could make it. Some of them are in our program. So my team backstage, thanks to Michael Joseph, Alyssa G. and Andrea, Jessica Rubin, they're helping produce this backstage for us. They're from our Mount Sinai Spotlight Committee. They're going to post that, and they're making sure everyone comes up here. We might go out of order because sometimes people, it's a healthcare, it's a hospital. People are in and out and have to go with a patient or an emergency. So be flexible with us. We're going to see who's ready and bring them up. So it's a live show for sure. But I also want to thank our other Spotlight members. The people who are going to read these stories are our committee members, people who are committed to employee engagement and recognition and appreciation work across our system. So our committed employee story readers are our Spotlight committee members. So they're going to have their chance to share stories of these honorees. Now, where did these honorees come from? How did we choose these folks? Well, we didn't. I didn't choose them. I get them sent to me, this great collection of incredible stories that I get to read through every month. And it's because they were recognized by senior leadership on our system daily huddle. Every single day, there is this huddle that takes place, an operations huddle, to make sure Mount Sinai Health System is ready for a high quality, safe day. But they take a pause during each one, and just one leader has a chance to recognize someone. There's a rotation, and they say, it's my turn. Who do I recognize? And the people we're honoring today are the stories they shared from August of so just this past August 2023. We've collected them all, and we're sharing them with you. And I want to turn to someone who's behind that effort. I have a couple of leaders I'd love to bring up to start things off. And first is Swati Garg. She's a senior director of health system operations. We've been working with Swati and her team, Hillary Pauly and Joseph Mari, on getting these stories. And Swati, you get to hear them firsthand in the huddle. I wonder if you could share with our audience just what this moment is like for you and these leaders.
Sure. Thanks, Steve. I'm really pleased to be here today to celebrate these amazing colleagues on, wow, the 20th episode of Beyond the Badge. Really amazing. So first off, I just want to congratulate everyone being recognized today. Thank you for everything you do at Mount Sinai and the exceptional care and service you provide to our patients and to each other, to your colleagues. So as you said, Steve, we launched the System Daily Huddle. It was now 4+ years ago. And we had sort of safety and situational awareness in mind. So the huddle is highly structured, it's metric-based. It's really designed to give our senior leaders that bird's eye view of operations and issues for the day. But just as important to our senior leaders was that connection to the human experience. So by including an employee recognition story, as you said, each and every day, we have built this habit around recognizing and elevating the extraordinary actions of our staff here at Mount Sinai. So also a big shout out to my team. Thank you for that. And our DTP colleagues for all the behind the scenes work they do to kind of create that schedule and manage the process. And so, literally every day since we launched 4+ years ago, except for, that first wave of COVID and a few crisis days here and there, I have heard one of these stories. And so what I love most about Beyond the Badge is now this program really amplifies your recognition. And it lets us put a name and a face and a personality behind your story. Just kind of brings the stories to life, and it reinforces for all of us that Mount Sinai employees are our most valuable asset within our health system. So thank you for inviting me here to participate in this celebration. Honestly, it's the best hour of my week every time. And I look forward to learning more about each of you and your commitment to going beyond the badge.
Excellent. Thank you, Swati. And yes, just spectacular stories. I love to get to meet the face, like you said, to these stories. I get to read them and I'm ready for them. And then meeting the people takes it to this whole other level. So that's why we have Beyond the Badge. And now I've already seen some of you cheering in the chat. Please do that. Use that chat. Their moment is brief. So they love to come off screen and read all the wonderful messages about them. So make sure you set that to everyone so that everyone can see your comments in support of the honorees, and get in that chat and share your praise and appreciation as well. I said other leaders are out there. You know, I want to pick on some. I talked to Jonathan Kiriaku. He's our Chief Operating Officer from Mount Sinai Hospital, attends all these episodes, takes in these stories every month. Jonathan, I wanted to bring you on screen and get a chance to talk about, you know, what you enjoy about coming and hearing these stories month after month.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me. And I do join every month, so it's actually an honor to get to give an opening remark here. And one of the things that I always think about when I listen to them is, wearing a Mount Sinai badge is something that I'm very proud of. So I hope that that's how everybody feels. But, being here every month, hearing things that happen within our institution that go above and beyond just wearing the Mount Sinai badge, it's just, extraordinary to me, right? And it really makes me feel proud to be part of the Mount Sinai family. So I'm really excited to hear 22 different stories. So I'll be very quick. And then also to family, friends, others out there that are going to get to listen to them also. You should all know that this, even though it's beyond the badge, it's a daily occurrence here, kind of what Swati was saying. So, sit back, enjoy them. I'll sit with you and listen. And thanks for having me, Steve. And congrats to everybody who's being honored here today.
Thank you. I know you're going to enjoy all the stories you're going to hear. And you're right. It is hard for leaders to pick one story of all the exceptional stories that are out there. So even a higher note of recognition to everyone being honored, there was a hard choice to choose your recognition for these leaders who only have this one chance a month to share one. So I want to jump right into them. We've got a lot of great stories to share. We break it up into some categories. We've shared the program in the chat with you. Again, we might bounce around the order depending on who's ready to go, but we start with appreciation from patients, usually coming from patient letters or a patient comment that came through, or just sharing their experience with a leader. We start there. Then we move on to some stories of excellence, which are these one-time incredible events that took place and wanting to recognize that story. Then we go into appreciation by colleagues. So there are some that come from star recognition and peer-to-peer recognition, where they wanted to recognize a colleague. And then finally, a spotlight. This is where you learn about some of the cool programs and initiatives and work or a role that a single employee is doing, and getting a spotlight into their life here at Mount Sinai. So that's a great lineup. I want to jump right into it and call up our first guest and our first speaker. We're going to do appreciation by patients, and Rebecca Asmussen from the Network Patient Support Center is going to recognize Demetrius Ford Huff. So let's bring up Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. She's our colleague from the network practices.
Hello. And I just heard from Melissa that he's not here. Should we
Demetrius,
skip me?
You got it. All right. Demetrius is on his way. Tough for me when it's the first one. And I don't know if Fallon is here yet. So until I get word on that, let's go to Sadiqa. Sadiqa, I hope you're ready. We're going to go to Sadiqa Horn, FPA Access Center. And Sophia Hansen was our first one who is here today, ready to go, eager for her story to be shared. So let's start there. Sophia, welcome back. And Sadiqa, let's hear this story.
Thanks, Steve. I'm very, very honored to recognize Sophia today. I worked with her for several years here in the Access Center. Sophia Hansen of the geriatric team has been part of the FPA Access Center since 2018. A patient recently emailed Sophia's supervisor the following note: I just wanted to acknowledge the terrific assistance I received from Sophia just now. Her ability to listen, her efficiency, as well as her pleasant manner are also welcoming and truth kind of rare. So thank you, Sophia. Have a great day. So Sophia, thank you for your hard work and dedication to the Access Center. You are a true example of the Mount Sinai core values.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Sophia, so this patient expressed several attributes of yours that made the difference in their experience. And I'm wondering what you would say. What do you feel makes the biggest impact on the patient's experience through their interactions with you?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So in response to Steve's question, I'll say from my experience, I think it's my ability to demonstrate active listening. to provide support and show empathy towards their needs. I also believe using a soft tone and showing patience in my response to their questions or concern give the patients comfort that their needs are met. Thank you.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Sophia,
you.
active listening is a key. You can't have empathy. You can't know how to support the individual without that active listening. So to know that's a part of every experience, I think it drives through with your glowing personality that you bring to every single one as well.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for sharing, Sophia. Great to celebrate you today.
Thanks.
All right, I'm trying to keep up with who's coming on here. We're looking for our next celebrant, Agata Wolden from Mount Sinai Beth Israel. Do we have Agata here? And we'll have Diana Grillo come on up to share this story. And let's go on to Agata. Let's see, and we'll have Diana Grillo come up as well.
Hello.
Hello. There we go. How are you, Agata?
I'm good. I'm here.
All right, welcome. So I'm going to turn this over to Diana Grillo, our colleague from Mount Sinai Beth Israel, to share this story.
Hi, Steve. Thanks so much. I'm so excited to be here today to celebrate Agata, a beloved social worker here at Beth Israel. So Agata has been with MSBI for over 18 years and currently covers the surgery and CCU teams. Agata is a strong advocate for her patients and their families, bringing compassion and a commitment to the idea of doing what is right to all of her cases. Agata was recently recognized by the daughter of a 97-year-old patient for her assistance and support. This daughter wrote, "I was so very distraught and I felt like I was having a stroke as I was so worried that she wouldn't get discharged on time. Then I was blessed with an angel, Agata. You were so kind and sweet and said, 'Don't worry, I will handle it.' And you called back and did it." She wrote that in all capital letters. "Once again, my heartfelt thanks to you, wonderful lady, and you're definitely a big asset," again, all capital letters, "to Mount Sinai. Agata is indeed an asset to Mount Sinai Beth Israel, and we are so lucky to have her as a part of the social work team."
Thanks for pointing that out, Diana. There was a lot of all caps, like screaming from the rooftops, their love for you, Agata, which was wonderful. You know, I also read in your story that prior to becoming a social worker, you have a background in law and advocacy in your native Poland. So clearly advocacy and doing what is right sounds like a lifelong commitment for you. And I wonder how you would describe your commitment and that sense of purpose you bring into your career as a social worker.
Well, I consider them both, like my legal experience and my social work experience as a privilege to be a part of other people's life. It's very humbling, and it's amazing if we can do something to help them, to empower them, to provide certain comfort, information, and care. So I think that both professions are connected. And as I said, this is amazing that every human being has a story and we are part of the story.
Oh,
so I really thank you to be recognized. I really appreciate that. I feel special, and it's special that I made some changes in someone's life.
Absolutely. A part of their story. I love it. It's absolutely a beautiful way to put it. Thank you so much, Agata. And I'll share, it's a big social work month. So congrats and thanks to all our social workers. I think there are a few social work honorees this month. So maybe one leader heard a story and said, "Oh, I've got a great social worker too. I want to share a social worker story later on the month." It kind of hit a trend. So thank you so much, Agata. Congrats. And thank you, Diana. All right, I'm going to go up. No, now that was our last for now. We're going to see if our early celebrants can come back. But I also want to direct you back to the program again. Thomas Allen was one who wasn't able to make it today. It was a medical assistant from Mount Sinai Hospital Ambulatory who was thanked by a patient's family for all the support and consideration he's shown them over the years. So a longtime patient. So if you want to read that story, it's right there in our program with a few others who couldn't make it. But for now, I'm going to go on to stories of excellence. We might come back to patient stories in a little bit. And I know our team is here. If we have some folks from the team from Mount Sinai Health System Radiology, they recognized a group of 4 extraordinary technologists at Mount Sinai Hospital: Jessica Alvarado, Samir Hamad, Christopher Daum, and John Stack. So I'm going to have God's favorite coach. Looks like the team's there with Raymond. Excellent. And God's favor, while they're getting set, you want to read their story?
Absolutely. Congratulations, everyone. Let me read the story. While a patient was in the GE CT scanner machine, a high voltage wire disengaged from the bolt within the CT gantry, causing fire and smoke to stream from within the machine. Jessica's fast thinking set everything into action when she immediately requested help from her teammates and removed the tearful patient out of the scanner. Samir and Christopher raced in to assist and were able to turn off the CT scanner as John began to evacuate patients and employees to safety. Although no one was physically harmed, the team participated in evacuating the department as a precaution. Their ability to cohesively collaborate ensured that every single patient and staff member was brought to safety. Their quick thinking and calm response exemplifies leadership and serves as an example for all Mount Sinai personnel. Please join us in expressing our gratitude to Jessica, Samir, Christopher, John, and the entire department for their extraordinary service.
All right. Thank you, God's favor. And, safety is always listed first in our core values for Mount Sinai. So this was definitely a safety and caring for others safety moment. And I love the phrase that applauds your quick thinking and calm response, that balance. So I would love to turn it up to this group and ask, how do you balance the act of acting fast in an emergency while also remaining calm so you can make those important and thoughtful decisions on how to ensure everyone's safety?
Well,
who wants to take that one?
Well, we act not just as a team, as a family. So anything we do together. We've been together for quite a number of years. So we take, great pride in taking care of our patients. We look at them as family members, not just patients. So anything that we would go out of our way to do for our family, we'll do for ourselves and as well as our patients.
That's wonderful. Anyone want to add to that, what it was like in this moment and how you had to switch gears from this patient care to this emergency situation, and how naturally as a team that we hear that you work so well together through your work? How did that play out?
It played out very smooth. Everything was like from A, B, D, C, and all in a smooth, everything went well. The right way, when something an emergency, everybody had their head up, did what they had to do, and it just worked out well.
That's excellent. Is Raymond Burley the manager there for you
Yes.
all? Want to say anything about this team?
I am so lucky to have them. They're an asset to our department, and they're a family. We're all family here, and I appreciate
a scary
them.
moment, but I'm sure a proud one for you and this team.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. And this is certainly a story of excellence. It's hopefully a one-time event, but having great people committed to the safety of our patients and our colleagues is so critical. So thank you all for your efforts. Great teamwork.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks all. We're going to stick in the stories of excellence category. And next we're going to go to Mount Sinai Morningside, actually for the next two. So I'm going to have Tyler Geegan, our committee member from Morningside, come on up and take this first story for Ebony Williams. Hey, Ebony.
Hi, Ebony.
Right, take it away, Tyler.
Thanks, Steve. So yes, we are really excited to celebrate Ebony today and share this story. So recently, Ebony Williams, a social worker on our inpatient adult behavioral health unit, went above and beyond in caring for a patient who was recently discharged from the hospital. This particular patient has had multiple psychiatric admissions over the past year and had been readmitted to Mount Sinai Morningside. However, this time, neither the patient's family nor the outpatient mental health team that typically assists her were available to help with pickup after she was discharged. Given this patient's strong fear of riding in a cab alone and her history of representing to our emergency department, Ebony personally escorted the patient home in a cab and made sure she arrived home safely to her family. We are so proud to celebrate Ebony today for going above and beyond, showing extraordinary compassion and demonstrating excellent patient care, especially in this patient's time of need.
Yeah, absolutely a story of excellence. I mean, Ebony, so acts of compassion like this must stem from a personal commitment you make as a social worker in your caring for all patients and families. And I'm wondering how you would describe that commitment to your work and in caring for others.
Thank you for that question. So I often say that I didn't choose social work, that social work chose me. And so my commitment to the role comes from my desire to want to kind of change the narrative surrounding social work, especially in communities like the one that I grew up in, which is right down the block from this hospital, right? So as I was growing up, a lot of people view social workers as, you know, the enemy of the community, someone who only came when things were wrong. And so it's important to me now that I show everyone that we show up before things are going quote unquote wrong for a family, that we are an extra support for them, right? Because our job doesn't start or end with the punch of a clock. It's lifelong and it's worldwide. So
yeah. Beautiful, and an eye-opening perspective. I'm thinking that, you know, we think of how incredible our social workers are in caring for others, and you're absolutely role modeling that. But yeah, sometimes have to change the paradigm as well. And each time you make a positive connection with a patient like this and a remarkable story, just helps change that paradigm.
Yeah,
these communities. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Emily. I love this story. I just truly love this story. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Tyler. I think our next team isn't here just yet. They're working with patients. We'll hang on to that ambulatory story from Morningside in case they can make it. And one other, you haven't been able to hear her story. Shamelia Francis is a security officer at Mount Sinai Hospital. We knew she wasn't able to make it, so go check out her story in the program. It showcases her expert skill at de-escalating a potentially dangerous situation at one of our hospital entrances up at Mount Sinai Hospital. So that story is in our program. But let's switch gears for now and go to the appreciation by colleagues. This section was loaded today. This one was filled. We had the most stories fell into this appreciation by colleagues. You can be the one who starts a great story by expressing your appreciation for a colleague, especially someone from another department who you wanted to recognize, who made a difference in your employee experience or was a great collaborator. Use the star recognition app that you can find, and we can drop you that link in the chat. But let's go to our appreciation by colleague section. I'm going to have Andres Barrera from Mount Sinai West come on up for this next story. Mount Sinai West Ambulatory recognized Laura Chenevert. We're going to bring Laura up. There we go. And Andres, take it away.
Thank you so much, Steve. Physician assistant Laura supports the neurosurgical practice of Dr. Swati Garg. Laura is reliable, compassionate, an excellent clinician, and a true leader within the Department of Neurosurgery. One colleague recently shared that, quote, Dr. Garg has very high standards and expectations for the quality care his patients receive. Laura is the perfect person to support his practice as she lives up to that level of excellence every single time, end quote. Another shared quote, Laura approaches her work with dedication and diligence that serves as a role model for others to aspire towards. She takes time to make sure that each patient is taken care of and is shown the utmost care. Her professional and interpersonal abilities have led her to being an integral part of the department. Working in neurosurgery requires rapid attention to detail, flexibility, and teamwork. Laura goes above and beyond every day to deliver the best care to our patients and is a key team member in our department. We are grateful to have her in our health system and part of our neurosurgery ambulatory care team here at Mount Sinai West. Congratulations, Laura.
Yeah, really wonderful. I just love to see that multiple people you're inspiring, who are your colleagues, saying, I need to write something about Laura. I need to talk about how I'm inspired by her work and her commitment. So your colleague said your dedication and diligence serves as a model for others to aspire towards, which is just a wonderful statement to hear. How would you describe that model? What is the model clinician and colleague you strive to be every day?
Sure. Thank you. I think some important qualities that come to mind is someone that's really hardworking and someone that's a good listener. I think overall, it's really important to embrace challenges that come your way and to seek out learning opportunities as much as you can. And really just always to be on the lookout for ways that you can improve patient care and contribute to the team.
Yeah, well, it's so inspiring to me to hear a colleague put that into words. And, I'm sure you thank them and appreciate what they do to share these. And just a reminder to everyone out there, you can really, truly make a big impact on a colleague when you let them know how much you appreciate them. It's so beautiful to hear and it's so inspiring. And I'm glad they took the opportunity to praise you. We loved your story. All right, thanks so much, Laura. Next up, I'm going to go to Mount Sinai Hospital's faculty practice. Bianca Gamanito was recognized through a star recognition, and I'm going to have Ann Dickerson come on to read this story for Bianca.
Thanks so much, Steve. So Bianca is a clinical assistant in rehabilitation and human performance, and she received the following star recognition from an appreciative colleague. Quote, Bianca consistently and tirelessly works to make sure that our outpatient practice runs smoothly. She is the first to arrive and greets everyone with warmth and a smile. She has welcomed and trained a countless number of medical assistants, leading by example through her compassionate care of patients and her work ethic to do the best job she can each day. She is eager to help wherever needed and does not leave until the job is completed. We are truly fortunate to have Bianca as a colleague. Thanks so much, Bianca.
Yeah, thank you, Anne. And Bianca, so your colleague for you says you lead by example in your compassionate care of patients. And similar to Laura's question, how would you describe that example you aim to role model when it comes to compassionate patient care? Yeah, no, come on off mute. Yeah, I can give you a little prompt. Are you able to unmute? Bianca, we can't hear you just yet. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say congratulations, first of all, to everyone who made it to be on the badge and receive a recognition for their work and dedication. I've always been driven by the desire to want to help others, in any way that I can. I think this is the primary reason why I chose to work on this field. Compassionate care is not only, I think, the right thing to do from a humanistic, perspective, but this approach, also raises the quality of care and the patient's overall experience. I believe that compassion and kindness, they both come hand in hand, and they're an essential quality to in obtaining optimal medical care. Over the years, I have realized, that being fully present with the patients, and just listening and understanding, sympathizing with their situation or their needs, can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So once I walk in, the room with a patient, I don't only see like a patient, I see as if it's a family member, someone that needs the help, someone that came here because they're looking, for to be taken care of. So I've always been driven by that, making everyone feel comfortable, and I think once you put all that into practice, it makes a huge difference when it comes to the patient care. So once the patients leave, they're happy, they feel content that they were taken care of, and you start building relationships with the patients. So that's basically my main, motto, like every day.
It's really lovely, Bianca. You said it so well. And oftentimes we hear from celebrants that it comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
Yes and no. It comes naturally because you've made a personal commitment to and have a drive and a purpose that then leads into natural behaviors. But it starts with that core, and you described it so well. And it's the second time we heard today of it being a calling. Like, this is why I came into this work, and clearly you've made the right choice coming into this work in healthcare. Thank you, Bianca. A wonderful story and a wonderful comment on our question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Bianca, and go back and read the chat. I hope all our celebrants are going back to the chat afterwards and reading these wonderful things our audience is saying about you. Now, I'm still waiting to hear from my team. Veronica Jules Lewis from Support and Ancillary Services. Her manager might be in our audience, and we're trying to bring them forward. And we're going to hold off for now, I think, while we see if we can get Veronica to come back as a panelist and come on screen. So I'm going to look for word from my team on when we've got that set. Liam, if you're out there and you get a little alert asking you to come up on screen, we're looking for Veronica. But for now, let me go one ahead to Mount Sinai Health System laboratory leadership, who recognized a Mount Sinai Hospital employee, Pinky Shaw. I saw Pinky backstage. She's ready to go. And let's have our colleague from Mount Sinai Hospital, God's Favor Guillet, come on back and take this story for Pinky. Okay.
All right. Congratulations, Ms. Shaw. Laboratory tech, Ms. Pinky Shaw, is an exceptional employee in the Central Processing Department who exhibits good work ethics, contributing significantly to the overall success of the laboratory. Her leadership have expressed how Ms. Shaw stands out due to several key characteristics. She manages her time efficiently to process samples in a timely manner without compromising patient care. And as a team player, she's always ready to offer assistance when needed and shadow new employees. She can easily be characterized as a go-to person in our department, especially when it comes to retrieving knowledge-based information quickly and working on special projects. Pinky is very resourceful, dedicated, and epitomizes what it is to be an exceptional employee.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, Pinky, this is high praise from your leadership. And I wonder if you could describe the commitment you make in your daily work that leads to this glowing reputation. And you're still on mute, Pinky, if you can come on off.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My commitment from my work come from my understanding of how important my job is. Usually, the healthcare providers have a great responsibility to provide uh, all specimen and everything on a timely and accurate work. I'm encouraged by especially Mount Sinai family who make me really feel so welcome and appreciated by my colleagues. I love coming to work every day knowing that I have a supporting community, and it is really rewarding to me my acknowledgement for my offer, especially my manager, Miss Ua. I'm really grateful to my to her because she always give me guidance and dedication to support me each every day. And same thing like Mr. Supervisor, my Mr. Forrester, he support me a lot. Thank you so much, and I'm really appreciate for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Pinky. And someone appreciates their colleagues because you appreciate them right back. And it's a great team that supports each other. So kind of you to express it right back at them. But they're so glad they shared this story about you first to celebrate you. All right, thank you. I'm going to move on, and I apologize. I've heard my internet might be a little spotty. I got colleagues ready to jump in for me should I just disappear at any moment. But hopefully I kick back in here. I saw Liam is here with Veronica. Let's bring Liam up. We have Veronica Jules Lewis. We'll go back to that story, and I'll turn it over to Zachary Key from Mount Sinai, Queens, to read this story. They were recognized by Health System Support and Ancillary Services. Zach?
Thank you so much, Steve. So our story is Transporter Veronica Jules Lewis truly goes above and beyond in all aspects of her work. She leads by example and treats her patients and coworkers as if they're her family. Here is a sample of many recognitions Veronica has received from her peers that display how much Veronica means to the hospital and her coworkers. Transporter Veronica is always smiling, happy, friendly, and a team player who is always willing to help. Veronica has a ray of sunshine personality. She's a very happy person, loves her job, and can always rely on her. Veronica is usually the first transporter I see in the morning. She always greets not only the staff, but the patients in the waiting room as well. She always has a cheerful disposition, a pep in her step, and a wonderful smile. Thank you, Veronica, for spreading positivity. We're truly lucky to have Veronica as part of the patient and equipment transport team at Mount Sinai, Queens.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. And Veronica, if I could turn it to you, your colleagues all highlight how you lift them up and bring joy to their day, which is so beautiful. What brings you the most joy and passion for your work with colleagues, patients, and families?
Working with my patients, I love them. And they all know me, and we talk and we laugh. They have some issues, we talk about it, and we solve it.
Yeah, so you love your patients, and that comes
Love my
through.
patients, love my coworkers.
And then how does it feel to know that your colleagues, that you're the bright spot of their day, is being able to see you, and probably just to watch you interact with patients probably inspires them in their work with patients.
Amazing. And I have a wonderful supervisor, Liam. He is great. He listens to what we have to say. He doesn't dismiss us. He really listens.
That's wonderful. I don't know if my audience, can you feel the sunshine that they were talking about? I'm so glad he came on, just such great energy and great smile. Anything else you'd love to share about what, helps you connect with your patients so well that brings you that joy in your day, being able to talk with patients?
Well, it's like, I treat them like family, and they are family to me. Cause
That's
they're like,
wonderful.
oh, when they enter the hospital, they're like, where's Veronica? I want Veronica. Everybody's like, Veronica, so and so want to see you. So and so want to see you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful to be known by name. You know you've made a true impact on a patient when they're asking for you by name. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Veronica. This is so wonderful to talk with you. Thank you for inspiring us. And I'm so glad your colleagues took the time to celebrate you today.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. I think we've got a full lineup I've heard from my team as we go through the rest of our stories here today. So we should have everyone ready to go. I'm going to go next to, I know they're together, downtown. Mount Sinai downtown recognized Chelsea Medical Center employee, Emily Zavara, and she's right next to Nydia, who's going to read this story.
Thank you, Steve. Today, we would like to recognize Emily Zavara, one of our oncology social workers at Chelsea. Emily was recognized by one of our GYN oncology nurse practitioners. We received the following compliment. Emily has been immensely helpful with providing an extra layer of support for our cancer patients. She goes out her way to ensure our patients feel seen and put an extra effort to address their concerns. The positive impact she has on our patients is palpable throughout the center and the GYN onc team. We are so lucky to have her. Thank you, Emily. You are a role model and a valued Chelsea employee. Congratulations, Emily.
Yeah, thank you. I keep hearing the role model when it comes to these colleague appreciation. It keeps saying, I see you as a role model, which is so wonderful to hear. They specifically noted how you go out of your way to ensure patients feel seen. And I wonder if you could talk about that. Tell us about your approach and how do you provide this positive experience for your patients?
Yeah, thanks so much, Steve, and thank you, Nydia, for those kind words and for recognizing the impact that social work can have. As a member of the interdisciplinary team, it's really important. In my own practice, I find that I have had the most success in really connecting with patients and families when I approach them as people first and patients second. Building that rapport with patients through empathetic communication really breaks down the barriers of patient versus provider and really allows for a therapeutic relationship to blossom. I'm fortunate enough to work solely with gynecologic oncology patients and that program. So because of this, I really have the added benefit of having access to resources like the Mount Sinai Woman-to-Woman program. And those resources really enable me to not only anticipate a patient's possible needs, but fill in the gaps in some ways that other diagnoses aren't able to. So being centered in GYN is really special, and it's helped me to really focus on my passions and interests, especially sexual health and sex therapy. And I've been working to kind of develop a sexual health clinic down here, which is really important. And really helps me to further serve patients in a more holistic way in the hopes that they can feel more comfortable in their new normal. So I'm really honored to work with my team and for the recognition to the commitment that I have for our patients. And I look forward to continuing to work together with the team and serve our patients the best way I can. So thank you.
Well, thank you for being a role model to your team down there. I'm so glad they took the chance to appreciate you. And that feeling seen, we do that for our patients, and that is so important to help them feel seen. And again, this is the appreciation by colleagues section. It's important for our employees to feel seen as well. So taking the time to write a star, to celebrate and appreciate each other is so critical as well. So thank you, Emily. And thank you, Nydia. I know my boss is feeling so proud right now. Our Chief Learning Officer, Diane Adams, has a background in social work. She was a social worker here at Mount Sinai before going on to our talent development and learning team as our leader. So I know, Diane, you're thrilled and proud to see so many social workers being honored today. I'm going to keep things moving. Next up, we were working with our audio, Sonia Grande. If you can come on up, she's from the Mount Sinai Network Practices, was recognized. And I'll have Rebecca Asmussen come on back for Sonia's story.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Dr. Bhavesh Gala at Mount Sinai Dr. Staten Island Cardiology shared the following praise of medical assistant Sonia Grande. Ever since Sonia stepped into our office a little over 2 years ago, she has worked hard every single day without complaint. Ours is a very busy office, and she is on her feet nonstop, always ready to jump in where there's work to be done. She never puts off for tomorrow what can be done today and never leaves work for other staff. She always has a smile on her face, no matter how stressful the day has been. She's very compassionate and has the empathy for patients. She's very friendly with all staff and has a great sense of humor that keeps the environment around her light at all times. Sonia is reliable, honest, and the one you can always count on no matter the job. Thank you so much, Sonia.
Thank you. You know, as I hearing the story, the one word I keep hearing over and over again is always. So Sonia, when you come to the practice every single day, what is it you consistently commit to as a colleague and a caregiver?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I first want to thank Dr. Gala for the wonderful acknowledgement. My consistent goal when I come to work is being respectful, loyal, and truthful to providers, patients, and coworkers. I always enjoy coming to work in an atmosphere where, with my coworkers, where they understand that what teamwork is about, and always being respectful to provide the best care to patients. And I always say my belief is that the only way to do a great work is to love what you do. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're hearing. It's that part of that purpose and care into the work, and then the actions come naturally when you start with that heart. So that's wonderful, Sonia. Thank you so much. I'm glad the physicians in your area chose to recognize you and share this story. All right, thank you. And thank you, Rebecca. We're going to go on to our final segment of the episode. This is that employee spotlight section where we're highlighting some specific roles or programs or projects that are in place here at Mount Sinai. So it's always a very enlightening section to hear about some of the great work that happens around our system. There are two additional stories, people who couldn't make it. You can read an example of the important work clinical pharmacist Dr. Sarah McDougall provides to patients in our diabetes remote patient monitoring pilot program, as well as a story about Richie Erdman. Richie was recognized by supply chain leadership for his transportation and warehousing work over the past 2 years. Richie actually could not be here today as he's also in the U.S. Army Reserves and has been deployed overseas on an 11-month tour. So we offer our best wishes to Richie Erdman on a safe return and look forward to welcoming him back to Mount Sinai next year. But let's go to who's here. We're going to go to the Ambulatory Care Call Center, who recognized Marilyn Askew, and I'll have Sadiqa Horn come on back for Marilyn.
Thanks, Steve. Marilyn Askew has been a great asset to our team since joining our Access Center in 2018. Marilyn is very dedicated towards assisting our patients. She handles all of our callers with complete professionalism and treats our patients with respect. She is very knowledgeable of our department's workflow and takes pride in making sure she is up to date with any changes that come our way. Marilyn is always open to accepting new challenges as we strive for patient satisfaction and is a ray of sunshine in our office. We would like to thank Marilyn for all her hard work, for her dedication to our patients, and being such a positive, presence in our call center. Our team appreciates you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Sadiqa.
Thank you, Marilyn. How would you describe that, the commitment that you make to assisting your patients?
I think working in a call center, you run into a lot of bumps in the road, right? You have patients that have urgencies, and with the scheduling, we can't schedule them according to their urgency. For me, I love what I do because I love helping. I treat the patients like my family because I would want my family to have the same experience when they come, whether they walking into a hospital or they're calling to book an appointment. I think it's you don't know the patient that you're speaking to as far as their background. So it's better to, listen to them and hear their needs and try to help them as much as you can.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Marilyn. Look at the hearts fluttering up. I knew it as soon as you said treating them like family. I knew all those hearts would start coming up, and that's where you start. When you can connect to that purpose in your heart, it comes through in your conversations.
It's not easy with, because a lot of people don't like coming into hospitals. They don't like, doctors and none of that stuff. And I think being that we are one of the first contacts when you come into the first contact with dealing with a patient, you want to make it as comfortable as possible so that they can feel confident on going through the next, step, which is showing up to the appointment and getting the care that they need.
Yeah, and the speed bumps and knowing that it's there and knowing that in advance helps you make that commitment to saying, I'm going to work through this. And you're being celebrated because you do it so expertly. I got to say, is one of your children in the audience cheering you on? It's so beautiful.
Yes, my daughter.
I'm sure she's very, very proud. to see you honored here. Thank you so much and congrats.
And thank you guys for this experience.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on. I saw him earlier. We're going to have Mount Sinai Health System facilities leadership who recognized Ron Cordier from Mount Sinai Hospital. So let's bring Ronald up, and God's favorite GA. This is a Mount Sinai Hospital. We'll have you come back for this story about Ronald.
Oh, good. Ron Cordier, congratulations.
How is this lady doing it? Important. Oops, sorry. Good.
We're good for you, Ron. Take it away, God's favorite.
All right. Chief Engineer Ron Cordier is known as the Chief by his colleagues in the engineering department, and his contributions have been enormous over his 21 years of service. His specialties, which include boiler and generator controls, have been a huge asset to the hospital. Ron was instrumental in keeping the plant running reliably during numerous capital projects, including the fuel oil conversion and the multi-year boiler replacement project. Ron was also key in both the Annenberg Medical Air and Domestic Water Storage Pumping Replacement projects. During the recent fire event, Ron was unflappable and provided outstanding leadership as numerous failures were occurring simultaneously. His efforts maintained critical services to the hospital and aided in the quick recovery efforts. This event and numerous others highlight the Chief's dedication and commitment to the patients, visitors, and staff of the Mount Sinai Hospital.
All right. Yeah, thank you. And I see also Clark Kent Superman is how you're described in the chat by your leader. So Ron, I hear this recognition is also used as a way to thank you for your career of service at Mount Sinai. I know you and your family are moving on out of the state. So they're unfortunately saying goodbye. And I wonder if you can take this as an opportunity to talk about your time in engineering at Mount Sinai and what's meant the most to you.
Well, I want to say I'm honored to be recognized for Beyond the Badge today, and congrats to everybody else that has been honored today. It's truly been a challenging and rewarding experience working for Mount Sinai in the engineering department. Sometimes working late nights and weekends, and I have to thank my wife for all her support and understanding through all these 21 years. I've been very fortunate to have a supportive team of managers and employees who are always there to help me throughout my time at Mount Sinai. I will ever be grateful for the knowledge, understanding relationships that I've made here. And thank you again for everybody for your help.
All right. Thank you so much, Ron. Best of luck to you as you continue on in your journey. And thank you for your 21 years of service at Mount Sinai. Clearly a leader that is well appreciated by all of those who work with you. All right. Thank you. We've got 3 more stories to go. I'm going to go back to Mount Sinai, Queens, and have Zachary Key come back. This next story is for Nicole D Simone from Mount Sinai, Queens. There's Nicole and Zach.
Thank you so much, Steve. So it's my honor and pleasure to introduce a close colleague and friend of mine, Nicole D Simone, who's Mount Sinai Queens' Director of Admitting and Throughput. So Nicole is being recognized for her unwavering commitment and outstanding efforts during the One Epic implementation at Mount Sinai Queens, West, and Morningside. Her willingness to go above and beyond in supporting all staff members through this complex Epic implementation has been nothing short of remarkable. Her leadership, guidance, and tireless dedication have played a pivotal role in ensuring the success of the significant transformation. She has lent a helping hand across all sites, answering questions, collaborating with PFS, and providing real-time support on our registration staff. Nicole has a unique ability to unite teams, streamline registration processes, and keep everyone motivated during this transformative journey. Nicole's contribution will continue to positively impact our hospital and health system for years to come.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. And Nicole, love to give you a chance to respond to this. What was this implementation experience like for you? And what would you say was the key in leading it through to its success?
Thank you. Honestly, for me, it was fun to work with colleagues that I don't normally get to see at other sites. And it was very rewarding, definitely a lot of learning curves. But I think the most important part was creating trust and working relationships with staff at all levels in order to be as successful as we were.
That's great. Teamwork. I'm so glad that your team is cheering you on, and others in the chat cheering you on about the great teamwork you have for other locations around, not just Queens, West, Morningside, all around. So excellent work, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next up, we're going to go to Digital and Technology Partners Leadership, who recognized Alexander Goodman. And our colleague Seema Sethi is going to take this story for Alex. Hey, Alex, here we go.
Thanks. Hi, Alex. Alex Goodman is the manager of the Grand Central Epic team. He and his team were instrumental in bringing the One Epic suite of applications to Mount Sinai West and Morningside. While the project was the culmination of many months of planning, he brought the plan together and implemented it professionally with his users and their patients at the top of his mind. He proactively rounded constantly for the first week and accompanied senior leadership as they rounded. He took on each complex problem that was presented to him and provided responses, feedback, and resolutions in a timely manner. Alex's ability to recognize and methodically solve issues is uncanny, and he provides well thought out and long-term solutions. He leads a team of incredibly talented people and ensures that they have what they need to support our user community. Please join me in recognizing Alex for being an outstanding team leader and role model on the Digital and Technology Partners team. A long way from emerging leaders, Alex. Congrats to you and everyone else.
Oh, one of our emerging leaders too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I
excellent.
remember Seema. Thank you so much.
Alex, so I got to ask you, I caught the line that you work with the users and their patients at the top of your mind. And can you talk about that? How does your focus guide your work and your efforts?
You know, I think when you're doing rounding, it's very easy to keep the patients at the top of your mind. You know, you're seeing them firsthand. You're reminded that the work that you do, directly affects patient care. And the responsibility that you have in order to do your job to the best of your abilities. But the other side of that is that, everyone has a job to do, making sure that you connect those dots. And, I think that the theme here that all the honorees are mentioning is approaching people, from a person perspective first, being able to make connections so that you can foster that environment of collaboration where everyone has a common goal. And that's really where the magic happens. So I feel very privileged to be in a position where I could foster that environment, and very proud of my team and others for what we accomplished as a team.
Yeah, really excellent and well said, Alex. And, I keep coming back in this episode to people sharing what's at their heart of that leads their actions. And it keeps continuing to inspire me in hearing these responses. And thank you for recognizing your colleagues and the teams and the people you get to work with.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really wonderful. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Seema. And we have one more to go. Mount Sinai Health System Clinical Command Center recognized Jessica Wong, who I'm going to bring on screen here. And I'm going to have our spotlight colleague, Celicia Montgomery, read this story. Take it away, CC.
Hey, Steve. So here's the story. Recognizing that every decision made within the Clinical Command Center has a direct impact on patient outcomes, Project Manager Jessica Wong has gone above and beyond to implement processes that ensure the highest standards of care are met. Whether it's coordinating complex projects or managing critical tasks, Jess' exceptional organizational abilities and efficiency has helped to streamline countless processes. One of Jessica's significant professional achievements is her work in creating and implementing a quality dashboard within the Clinical Command Center. Through her meticulous planning and attention to detail, this dashboard has become an indispensable tool for monitoring multi-level data analytics, which is used to drive continuous process improvement. Beyond her professional achievements, Jessica's warm and positive demeanor brings a sense of joy and optimism to those around her. Her energy, passion, and collaborative nature exemplifies these values that define our organization. Thank you, Jess, for being a shining example of what it means to be an exceptional member of the Command Center team.
Yeah, thank you. And, this is another example of a team recognizing someone else's purpose. And I wanted to hear if Jessica agrees with what they shared. They said that they recognize how every decision you make has a direct impact on patient care, so that they know you get that. And I'm wondering, how do you personally connect to that purpose? As you work on a wide variety of complex problems, how do you bring in that direct patient outcome to drive your work?
Yeah, so it is always great to be able to support the Clinical Command Center especially through the crucial and critical moments that occurs in the system and around our worlds, for example, COVID. just knowing that my efforts and also the powerful team behind me, all of our efforts are able to change patients' lives through the services we offer just really helps to give me the push to get these projects moving in a very efficient time and manner.
Right. You got to begin with the end in mind and see that patient and what's the impact we're going to make.
Yeah.
And then build towards it.
It's all about the patients. Yeah.
Really well said. Thank you so much, Jessica, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that's through our stories. Again, check out the program for some other ones. But thank you for joining this episode. I'm so happy we were able to share these employee stories with you. I want to thank you. If I was breaking up a little bit, I thank you for bearing with me and pushing forward. Agility is one of our values. I've had my team helping me out backstage throughout, so I appreciate you having patience with some technical issues. But I'm glad our celebrants were able to speak very clearly and share what inspires them. And I know that's what you'll leave with today, is hearing their remarkable comments.